What I love the most about Valorant is the fact that it's brought in all these esport titles, right? There's pros that have played games I've never even heard of. And Valorant has done an excellent job of blending all the scenes together, but 100 Thieves is really the only team that has mastered that. I think 100 Thieves is going to be the blueprint for how teams constructing their rosters in the future.
When I first signed to 100 Thieves, we chanced a roster that unfortunately things didn't really work out. So, 100 Thieves decided to give me a little bit more say in who I would pick to play with. When they told me, hey, who do you want? My first thought was immediately Nitro. It all made sense. My past experience with Nitro from Team Liquid back in 2015 and 2016, we placed in the finals of one of the majors we played in. I had very high faith in him. You can see the moments when he just completely outplays someone or out-aims them. I don't think that there's a better person suited for a game like Valorant than Nitro right now.
Hiko is a very hard worker, and then also just having a good attitude towards the game and towards his teammates is really special. 100 Thieves, I had the opportunity to build my own team with Hiko, so ultimately I went to them and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Hiko, I struggled to think of someone that had more success over a longer period of time with so many different players, right? Spencer brought up so many people in Counter-Strike, and he's trying to do the same thing now in Valorant.
We have 3 older guys that were all in-game leaders at one point of our life, and 2 young star fragger, really aggressive kids even.
Now Asuna coming with the showstopper. He'll find one more.
Whenever I first switched to Valorant, I didn't really know what role I wanted to pursue, because over my Counter-Strike career, I've taken up a lot of different roles. At the end of the day, I felt like a lot of these kids are younger than me. No 17-year-old's gonna say, I want to in-game lead. They're gonna want to play Phoenix and run out there and frag out, right?
And shocker, ladies and gentlemen, Asuna goes aggressive.
I decided to play like an Omen, like a controller. And now I'm secondary in-game leading. So I have a similar role to what I was doing on Liquid.
Nitro, he already has second on the round and he continues to push the matter.
We have a good roster today with Dicey, Steel, and Asuna.
Nitro with 2! Nitro with 3! He's gonna find one. Find 2!
Just on the other side, he's able to get one. Get the second one as well. He's looking for the third. Dicey does it. Oh my gosh!
Are you kidding me? 100 Thieves!
100 Thieves. I love the way their roster is constructed, and I think Nitro and Hiko are to credit for that.
I personally think that progress we've shown is exponential, and unlike any other team in Valorant right now, we just qualified beating TSM and beating Sentinels to make it to the first major Valorant tournament with a roster that's only been together for just shy of 2 months now. Give us some more time, let us improve more. I think we would have a good shot of being the best team in America.
Pick it up again, break it down from the top.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to First Strike North America, and this is an incredible game in the quarters. We have 100 Thieves versus T1, and if you're just joining us, this is going to be map 2. We will be going into bind. I'm here with Sean, guys. Sean, the first game was beautiful, and now we're going to bind. What are we expecting to see?
I expect to see surprisingly a much better game from T1. I thought they played phenomenal on Haven, considering it's a map they're not really known for. I like what Hayes does at that B bomb site on Bind. He has mastered that particular spot as Sova. I think he's someone to look out for. I don't know what we're going to see Spider on, though. We used to see him a lot on Omen. Are we going to see that out of him? Or this new Spider that plays, Raze a lot on Bind, and we're going to see AZK on Omen. I think AZK looks more comfy when he plays an Omen compared to a Breach. So this agent select presented by Verizon is going to be big in my eyes.
Yeah. Straight away, out of the gate, is there anything that you weren't expecting to see out of this?
I'm kind of excited to see Spider on Phoenix, because I don't really get to see him as this super aggressive player that everyone in Overwatch touts him to be. And we're going to get to see that right now on Bind with him playing Phoenix. Ska's going to be on Jet, entry fragging. This is going to be such an insane matchup right now. I love how the two teams are constructed.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like there's anything too quirky going on in terms of the overall composition. So we may see somewhat of a standard affair on Bind. And that's, I mean, for me, that's a huge question, though, because even though the compositions might be similar, because it's Valorant, there's so many different ways that you can combine the different agents' abilities to synergize and create really funky tactics. So I'm looking out to see what we will see in that regard. Now, Sean, here we can obviously already see how the teams are setting up at the beginning of the round of the buy time. You know, what are we looking at here going to this first pistol?
Yeah, the first thing I'm noticing right off the bat is there's a trip on Octagon at B long. That's kind of going to let me know that they're going to play super aggressive at the start, feign some pressure, maybe put pressure on this, you know, Jet that's about to peek, and then back off and play passive. You can see they got the orb. There they are. They're out. They're out. They're going to play passive on this B site now. They're going to use this stack. This is a deadly setup right now coming out of 100 Thieves. They're going to use the teleporter if they go B.
Okay, well, we'll see that T1 themselves are playing quite cautiously here so far in the opening, making sure they can isolate any shenanigans from T1, from 100 Thieves, you know, were there to be any. But as Sean mentioned, it's very quiet from the defensive side here of 100 Thieves to begin with. And we'll get a regroup towards that B-long position as T1 start to make their way forward.
This is an outstanding read by Daze, because if they went hookah, a raise nade was coming through along with a triple teleport. Luckily, they're going up long. This is a perfect read. How is Steel going to react to this?
And Spider's in showers, so there is the option to go back through the TP if they have a lot of trouble on this B site. They may try to really sell the rotation and get a couple kills before going for that. Still, they're trying to use some dirty cams to his advantage, but the site's been given. Oh, nasty stuff there from Daze. The jumping classic to deal with Steel. As Scar's in the side here, holding that forward ground. So will be a commitment of that spike plant on the B site. The lurk on A has been dealt with. Spider's out of the picture, and 100 Thieves now are 4 strong with that rotation through hookah now, through the TP on short A. So they're ready to go for this retake. Lots of presence around the elbow position and sight here from T1 on the defense. We'll have to see if they can hold on to this. Daze once again kicks it off nicely, but Nitro, time and again, he's been deadly with this Ghost. And now Brax sitting there blind on the site in a very awkward position, back against the wall, nowhere to turn. Nitro is just so deadly. Another headshot goes his way, and systematically, one by one, 100 Thieves will get themselves the retake and the defuse.
Yeah, I think things really started to go wrong when Spider died in that shower position. This was such good mid-game is what we call it, Dan. You know, just adapting on the fly. This isn't a thought-out strat per se from T1. They're reacting to things that they feel throughout the map, right? And they feel, you know, a heavy A stack. If they would have went up short A, they would have got demolished by that 3 stack. If they would have went hookah, they would have got demolished. If they would have went shower, there was a trip there waiting, and I'm sure, you know, 100 Thieves had a game plan. They did the perfect thing. Honestly, they did the perfect thing. It's just they lost the gun battles to hold the site.
And it looks like here for the eco from T1 that there's nothing too crazy going on, just a couple sheriffs.
It's the same setup coming out of 100 Thieves. They're doing the same thing. So we're going to actually get to see likely what would have happened on pistol round. Oh, this is awesome. I love seeing variations of the same thing.
That's what it's all about, right? Creating a strat that can have all of the different permutations and reaction response to be strong in a huge amount of situations. So, you know, that just really just explains how good these teams are. And here comes that presence, that pressure from the Showers position. There's a great headshot from Daze to kick things off, the long range with the Stinger. It's going to do the job from Nitro for now. Omen's such a strong agent to play around the U-Haul position. The Paranoia has already been used up, though. And a 4 versus 4. A reset here from T1.
I think both teams right now probably going to feel things out with the Sova arrows. Daze likely wants his to recharge for this B hit coming in. But the way Brax is nested in this site right now, 2 tripwires guarding him. A nerd camera up there in the hookah. He's going to be hard to get out. Or I'm sorry, that's Steel. I'm sorry. Getting Steel out of this corner is going to be very, very difficult for T1.
Good timing on the recon there. The cam switch as well. Just getting that info. No time ready to get the spike down. It has to be planted right now. It's actually getting planted. Brax with that headshot. That makes all the difference. Hiko trying to find Skadul, and he will, not allowing them to reposition off of that plant. And it looks like 100 Thieves are very, very strong here. Daze, there's not really much he can do. I don't know if he's got a lineup here with the shock darts, but it's not going to come in time anyways. Nitro with the classic will finish him off, and 100 Thieves. It actually looked a little bit scary, I gotta say. Good effort from T1, creating some damage at the beginning and then trying to reset to make it even worse for 100 Thieves.
Early on in this match, Dan, I get the feeling that T1 has a very, very good idea that 100 Thieves likes to run this setup. You can see Spider went to the edge of showers and he just threw a pointless flash out. But that flash wasn't pointless. It actually made Austin a nade short and shift the entire setup from 100 Thieves. It caused a chain reaction, which then opened up the entry for Dazed. Now, that was a really interesting, unique way to break that setup apart.
Into the gun round here. We do have a couple of stingers remaining, and that is a nice find from Scar, able to take down Hiko. And again, Asuna and Steel are on stingers at the moment. So from a firepower perspective, you're kind of limited. You've got to play those close range when you're playing against these rifles. We can see that Asuna's doing just that. He's playing the cubby on short A. So we'll see what he can do from there. At the same time, we've got control of showers from Spider once again, giving options to T1 as they continue to maintain presence at B-Long as well. So at this point, Sean, what would you do? You've got the entire map. You're a frag up. What's the play here for T1?
I think the play from T1, they don't know where Steel is set up. And having a Cypher, a Sentinel like that on a site, you can nest up and play solo because you have the camera, you have trips for information, and the trips act as additional players. So you can see that's causing 100 Thieves to play 3 people at this A site. Oh, this drone spotting the operator is massive information right now.
There's the sound cue. Asuna got burned. Spider heard it, took him down. The Sting is out of the picture there. And Nitro, we talked about it. This U-Haul position is a great spot for him to play. He's got the assistance there as well from Dicey. And they certainly would have heard that he's in this position. The curveball comes through. Dicey has to get out of there. He's having so many issues here, and he's going to be forced away from U-Haul. That's a key position to hold if you want to have a retake. Steel, though, is actually knocking on the back door on this flank at the moment. His position is now known, so he's lost the element of surprise. And it comes down to either Steel or Dicey finding some pick, some damage. If they can't find that initial kill to make a 2v3, there's really no way that they can force the issue. And Dicey, with that operator in hand, is worth obviously a lot of cash. Wants to save that one, and Steel will do the same.
Yeah, this is one of those scenarios where if you're a pro, you have to do the math on the new patch update, where you only get $1,000 credits if you survive out the round. Is it worth it? Yes, of course it is when you have an operator or you have a Phantom or a Vandal full armor. So the shields combined with this Phantom make it worth it for Steel to save, although it is worth it to maybe go for a couple kills, get those ult orbs down. You can see they're just playing this one really passive.
Love that. Just really.
He gonna go? Oh, he was gonna go in the teleporter. he was gonna go in, Dan.
He wanted it. That would have been awesome. He would have been annihilated probably, but that would have been pretty glorious. Okay, so T1 trailing by a round at this point in time. 100 Thieves 2-1, but obviously T1 having a really good showing of things in that previous round. We'll see if they can get that opening pick again. They played off of that early 5v4 really effectively, so we'll have to see if 100 Thieves have any setups now to change their fortunes in that sense. Dicey trying to get that peek on showers, denied by the hot hands, denied by the dark cover. It allows Spider to get close again. Dangerous here, spraying through the smoke from either side. Look at the investment here from both teams into showers control. It's huge investment. Knowing when the dark cover goes away, that works out for Asuna with a double. That's huge. So much investment. And 100 Thieves walk away from the table with all the chips.
Yeah, but something that T1 knows from that shower duel is there's one person on B right now. They know that. Based on the fight they just had at showers, they know someone has to be watching short A. The rotate probably came in. So this is all on Steel for the next probably 10 seconds. Hiko's rotating spawn, and he can't cross unless spawn gets smoked off. He doesn't really know what's going on in the site. This is a very sketchy situation right now for Steel.
Still a very intelligent play. We'll have to see what he's able to come up with from this Hookah position. The dark cover there is very awkward. He gets tagged there as well. He's going to have to try to find a timing. He goes for the swing, trying to find that timing. It's Asuna, though, denying the plant for now. There's only 20 seconds. Asuna, again, another frag coming his way. It's starting to look horrendous now for T1. Just Brax left it with 15 seconds to find an answer, but it's Nitro who has that answer, and 100 Thieves off the back of a great couple entries from Asuna pick up another round.
It's just perfect utility usage to enter this round, Dan. I'm so blown away by these two teams, right? The Omen dark cover combined with the hot hands to take control of Shower for T1. But then as soon as that smoke's fading, you see the boom bot hit the ground. It's not too early, because if it's too early, then they'd be stuck on the other side of the Omen dark cover. So it was just, everything was so well timed that round. It was so beautiful to watch the Shower fight go down.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, I totally agree, and there's so much more to say, but we'll see exactly what the round shapes up here to be as we get that. Not the best situation in the world in terms of weaponry. You can see T1 with the 3 rifles, a couple pistols. We do have Scar, I believe, on the daggers. And Asuna is going to get sprayed down, trying to back away here. The Hunter's Fury comes out to play as well. And that's going to also cause a lot of problems. Dicey trying to dodge it. He does get tagged by one, but he's still alive. Hiko there from elbow. Also still alive. Picks up a kill as well. And this is interesting now because 100 Thieves actually have a pretty good spot to play their retake. And they have this control around elbow. That's pretty huge.
That's massive right now. T1 is going to drone through elbow. Scott's following that with daggers. This is very sketchy for Dicey.
They hear him too. They hear Scar.
Oh, he spammed through the sight!
He actually walls him. That's unreal. Oh, Scar escapes after getting dinked there. Hiko making his way forward. Here comes the collapse onto the site for the retake. Steal there from Hookah is alone against more players. This is going to be so difficult to make his way through the 1v2. Steal falls to Dazed again. And this is just going down to the wire. 100 Thieves. Again, we talked about it. They had a great way to play that retake, holding on to the back pulls, that elbow position. But T1 realized, they recognized that. They did a deep smoke. They droned through. They played aggressively. The tag allowed Spider to get a wall bang. That's just, that sequence was it's just so amazing to witness.
That was so brilliant by Daze to send the drone in like that. I've never seen that so far in Valorant. And then you can spam the guy as he's in the spawn hallway from the site. Holy, what a hold by T1. I didn't see that coming. And here's that same dark cover, hot hands combo that we saw earlier. Actually combined with a recon as well.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You can see how important that shower control is for T1. But now Spider has his ult. And they're looking to hit this A site for sure this round. Look at them. They're all grouping up.
This is just the 6th round as well, so a lot of emphasis placed on showers so far from T1 on these opening rounds kind of scenarios, and we'll have to see if that impacts how 100 Thieves play this in the following rounds. But for now, there goes the beginning of this here through the drone. Steel tries to swing the corner there to try to take down Daze. The trade comes through though, so it's a 1-for-1. That's not too bad. Nitro finds his way onto a flank again. Brax goes down. That's the spike. And is very nicely in front of a dark cover for Nitro to hold on to. He has expended that paranoia though, so it will be hard to hold on to this for too much longer, but he still has U-Haul. Spider does not care. Straight through with the curveball, finds the headshot. And there are still there's still a lot of room to play with here for T1.
What?
Oh my god, that went,
It went
what
through
is
the
happening? I can't understand that, Sean. And Spider is open from spawn, and that's a wrap for T1. I don't even understand the science behind that one.
Where does it go when it goes through the telly, Dan? I don't know. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen that before either, so I don't know what to say.
That was so cool. Oh, no! Oh, my God. Poor AZK.
Oh, there's just no words. There's no words, but there are more rounds as we have the 7th round coming into play here. I mean, it's going to be an eco for T1. Hot hands, the dark covers, an aggressive one from Nitro this time to prevent Shower's control by T1, and they will have themselves instead a rotation through market towards that Hookah position where there is Brax currently creating some presence.
Dan, look at this shower setup right now. Nitro has the paranoia out. Steel ready to swing with it. The second that trip is hit. Oh, I can't wait to see this. How is Spider going to react to this setup? This is going to be very difficult for him to come out alive. Just the smoke on short A to slow things down on short. Oh, I guess that's how he gets through, Dan. Trip, no,
That works.
Trip no longer active.
That's one way to do it. And there's the TP. That's going to signal to T1 that that rotation's on the way. Nitro, though, with that elevated position, able to easily hold on to this one. Spider! My goodness. Doing quite the damage there with that Vandal that he collected. Hot hands for a heal. He's got 30 seconds here to do more damage. Now, he's got an ultimate available to run it back, and it's hard to see him use it in this position. But we'll see. If he picks up a 1v1, that's the way that he wins this. If he can get a 1v1, oh, there's that 1v1. If he picked that one up, I would be very afraid right there for his opposition. He could have used to run it back, grab the spike. There's all sorts that he could have pulled out of the bag there, but regardless, 5-2 is the score right now. 100 Thieves are ahead.
Wow, that was a lot of damage done by Spider, though, on that eco round. That was a great round by him. And even though they didn't get the win, putting a dent in 100 Thieves' economy at this stage of the game is actually very important. And he has his ult on deck now. This should be a different look from T1 this round, where they use their ultimates.
Aggressive setup here on short B, outside of Hookah, Dicey. And he's got a friend, Asana's there to swing after the shot. And Dicey gets the re-peek off of that. A 1-for-1. We'll have to see who that benefits as time goes on. We get a couple cloudbursts there to just enable Dicey to fall back and reposition safely. In the meantime, correct response from T1. They take the space that's given. They now have the control of Garden as well. But the spike in the meantime is around the short A position, and T1, they're gonna grab the orb.
Dan, they're gonna have to fight their way out of this round because they have no smokes left. Scott had to use his last remaining smokes right there to live. The Omen is dead early. This is a hard round.
Steel.
But it's just gotten a lot easier.
He's so brave, just going through with the cage, delayed them so much, got rid of the run it back, really giving 100 Thieves a lot to work with as they try to prevent the spike from going down, let alone retake it after the plant. And that's going to be a TP that Brax knows everything about. Dazed as well, holding on to his position, and now it's going to be down to Hiko against 3 players. There goes the recon dart. He's being destroyed immediately. He only gets a single pulse off. He's none the wiser. He may be on an angle, but no, Brax is going to discover exactly what's up. And T1 pick up a much needed round. They burned quite a lot there. But honestly, 3-5.
It's so scary when you see an Omen go down so early on bind because you have no smokes to enter the sites. And then the Jet had to use her smokes once she got tagged by the drone. Scott clearly having a rough start to this game. It's shocking to see based on how we saw him play on Haven, but now he's brought the op into play. He's going to take this peek at Long B. Is Hiko going to challenge this? He's already been punished once. He's not. So they're going to concede Long B to T1. And both teams are just going slow right now. Dazed, taking shower control right now, Spider.
Loving the deeper position here from Nitro with that Sheriff towards the short A cubby. When you're in a situation like this on the defense and you're outgunned, it definitely doesn't feel good to just allow the other team to execute. Having somebody that can maybe create some opportunities by getting a frag before or as the push is coming in allows more room for your teammates to do something with having a way worse setup ultimately. There goes that Hunter's Fury. Looks like not too much is going the way of 100 Thieves. It's just a token frag from Nitro. And it looks like there's really no more chance there for 100 Thieves. Now the spike gets planted. Nice anti-eco here from T1.
Spike planted.
Very nice anti-eco coming from T1. And you can see actually the importance of those frenzy frags that Spider got a couple rounds ago. There's no reason for 100 Thieves to be on this low of a buy unless those frags happen.
And it looks like Steel is causing problems here. Hiko's going to go down, but he's picked himself up a rifle, but looks like Spider is on top of it right now. And you were saying it earlier, Sean, as well. You wanted to see Spider on that Phoenix. You wanted to see him in more of an aggressive role on a more aggressive agent, and so far he's doing a great job, I feel like.
He is doing a fantastic job of getting shower control with Daze. Now, I'm curious because they've done this same look on this default time and time again. It's about time in the match where 100 Thieves busts out, you know, a counter to it, right? How do you counter this take of showers? How do they look at B? And it looks like they're not doing much different. You can see Brax is setting up his trip super passively in B. They're going to give up almost all of B this round. They're going to give up hookah. They're going to give up long control. Their main interest is here at A.
How do they handle it? Well, there you go, Sean. They got the forward dark cover. They're able to throw the Raze utility forward and force T1 behind Nitro's dark cover. So now T1 will have to spend more to retake the shower's position fully. And there's a drone. And they can't send that drone out from a further forward position.
Yeah,
so
that's a
part
big difference. That's a massive difference. That drone gets hardly any information. Before they were almost entering with the drone. Now it's only to get shower control. So how does T1 react now?
And with that shower control, ultimately Spider just picked up his ultimate. So he's got run it back now because of that ult that he just collected. So that might make the difference here, given that that's the only ult available for T1 in this round. And we have Hunter's Fury on Hiko, which is the only ult available for 100 Thieves. So T1 now regrouping into a pretty committed B hit, it would appear, and 100 Thieves, they're pushing short A at this point. They're going to figure out exactly what's going on. But in comes the push. There's the run it back. Spider making his way straight onto the site. He needs to get information. He doesn't really see anybody, but he understands there's at least one back site. And there's Scar with that operator, able to drop steel at the back of the site. And that's going to allow T1 to make their way forward. But time is against them here. If someone could take down the plant, so that could make every difference. And there's Hiko with Hunter's Fury trying to stop the plant. Can he deny the plant? Oh, he can't deny the plant. Oh, no! Nitro gets there where Hiko could not. Nitro can. Coming in from the flank, just as he has done so many times in this series so far. And that is so devastating. What a beautiful play there. In the nick of time, Nitro sweeps in.
He couldn't have come in at a better time. Takes down AZK at the last second. The plant took so long because the Hunter's Fury just terrified the players of T1 to plant that spike. What a play by Nitro. These flanks time and time again. He's sitting at 15-5 again. This man is just having such an incredible series right now.
It's really beautiful to see. There's just so much to say about it, but there's so much more gameplay to be had here. We get immediately the blades popped there by Sky. You can see he's trying to find an entry there towards this Huka position. The Paranoia is sent through as well. The dash up draft. Scars is clearing the path, making a way for his team to get into the side here, using that verticality to his advantage. Can't find a frag. There's just so much denying vision around this site, but he's still there. He's still creating space for his team, and he's still holding on to these positions. However, Dicey coming through there. Great stuff there from Dicey, finding a second with the operator, able to use that dash to keep himself alive. And this is just an absolute brawl for the site. And again, Nitro, he always finds the back of somebody. Dazed, able to equalize just for a moment as we go into the 1v1. There is a minute to play with. There are so many options here for both of these players. Dazed has the ability to use the recon dart. He's got that drone as well. Clearing some space there towards spawn, understands where his opponent is by deduction. And, oh, that was an opportunity for Dazed. Committing to the plant now. As Dicey bites his time, trying to make sure that he doesn't catch one of these arrows. And Dicey, no fear at all on the peak. That was bold from Dazed as well. You got to give it to him. But this was Dicey's round for sure.
This was definitely Dicey's round. This is such a huge, pivotal moment for him to come up big in this series. We haven't really seen him come up with this operator that he's been buying. It's kind of been a sunk cost, if I'm being honest, for 100 Thieves. But this round, he had so much confidence in his peaks coming through spawn. Take out both those players' sight, and this one-on-one, he played it so patiently versus Daze. Daze had a full kit of utility. So difficult to deal with. And he remained patient, won the one-on-one, and here we are, 7-4, Dan. Ooh, T1. This might be must-win territory right now. I think 8-4 on the defense side is quite a good half for Bind.
Ooh, Nitro's actually going to pop that recon dart. He's got the Paranoia ready in hand, but they're actually pretty deep He's going to swing straight into Spider, who is so ready for that one. Oh my god. Rocket flying through the showers as well. The aggression through the showers TP is great to see from 100 Thieves, trying to mix things up. We haven't seen that just yet, but the timing just didn't really work out. It was you were talking about answers to the showers play, Sean. It looked like it was set up, but the timing was just a little bit off.
It's just a little bit off, and that definitely cost them here. And here you have Daze actually droning the flank. This is such an interesting scenario. Neither team has any clue the spread on this A bomb site right now. It is going to be a select fest.
Still taking his time. That is huge. The neural theft.
Massive.
It's the perfect time. They get info. 2 players in showers, and then 2 players around the short position, and APC. Steel, he's going to be able to make some forward movement there, claiming more space on the site, creating more pressure. And Dicey, oh, the jump knife's not going to work out for him. T1 defending excellently. And that's going to be 5-7. You said they needed this round, Sean, and they're going to get it. And it's funny because it felt like 100 Thieves, that they were winning rounds pretty consistently, even though they were losing the showers control to T1. It almost felt like they didn't need an answer, but it's still going to be so close.
I know you like the poker references. This seemed like they just pushed all in that round on an aggressive play. That was very shocking because 100 Thieves hadn't done that yet the entire half. But it looks like T1 adapted on the fly perfectly. Like the positioning of Spider in the showers to catch, I think it was Nitro coming through the dark cover. It couldn't have been a better position. But here we go. This is definitely going to be a B hit coming in for 100 Thieves, and it's probably going to come in real fast.
Daze there with that recon die. He's going to spot everything pretty much. Able to deal with the boom bot. That's actually pretty huge to get rid of that boom bot before it makes its way into hookah. It allows T1 to kind of hold on to these spots. They'll throw down the cage. Okay, Steel is going to create quite a problem there. That's a great pick as Daze was trying to reposition, but Spider's going in for more. The frenzy close range. He's only going to be able to get the one though. This is not a bad spot here for Brax. Trying to play this corner, this angle. You can see that coverage of the dark cover is working out quite nicely for him as he tries to hold on to this. And they're very low. The player's coming onto his position. That is so awesome to see from Brax holding his ground. Easy to frag, so confident. The jump classic not going to work out for him as we go into the 2 versus 2. But the advantage in health at least is certainly with AZK and Skadoodle of T1. And right now, they also have the advantage because they're playing the defense. It's up to 100 Thieves to make their way forward, to reclaim that spike on elbow and find a way to get it planted. This is not going to be easy for them.
This is definitely an insanely difficult situation that T1 finds themselves in.
30 seconds
but
left.
The HP on 100 Thieves is so low.
One enemy remaining.
And they try to make the dash across, and it's not going to work out. And just speaks to, again, as you said, how difficult that spot was. I liked some of the initial exchanges there. I felt like the movement from T1 on the defense was really good to try to reposition out of that hookah play, but the timing from Steel was just, it's just so unfortunate for T1. If they had an extra second, I think they would have been okay.
Well, I love the timing from Steel coming up long B right there because he sensed his teammates were telling him there's a super heavy hookah presence, which means that it's super unlikely that there's going to be like, 2 people holding long B. So he took that initiative. It's kind of him just playing on the fly based on his teammates' communication. So I know the communication is very strong right now in 100 Thieves.
This is the classic move, isn't it, from Dicey, the single cloud burst, get yourself close with that shorty into the U-haul position. You got that dash up draft if necessary. And this is going to be interesting now. There's definitely some extra damage that can be done here by 100 Thieves. Spider holding onto B. We get that rotation to hookah with that spike. Won't be able to find their way in. Very, very fortified position towards B at this point. But another rotation from 100 Thieves. They might actually be able to catch something here using the dark cover to try to secure a plant. Oh, Scott, he knows. He just understands what that dark cover means. And with the spam, he's going to be able to create even more problems here. Heco, it's too much to deal with at this point. And not even getting the spike down, unfortunate for them. A couple kills will go a long way in pressuring the economy of 100 Thieves, but ultimately, it's definitely looking like a good start for the defense here on T1's side.
Oh, and look at this. Scott opts for the glass cannon operator. no shields right now. This is a huge investment. He did the same thing on Haven when he pushed short A, and it worked out so well. But it is a massive risk early in this game right now. He's going to take this Showers fight, but look at this. It's going to be a huge battle because 300 Thieves coming his way.
You don't expect to see this. Oh, he whiffed the shot. He doesn't want to burn the dash. Didn't expect Nitro to be so close for the punish. And you said it was a massive risk. It hasn't gone the way of T1, but we'll see if they can find a different way to recover this position. A very fast push on the back of that kill. And oh my god, 100 Thieves looking really strong, moving off of that first kill into the site, leaving just Brax and Spider on the rotation from that B site. Not too much they can do, but trying to find a timing as the setup is coming in from 100 Thieves. Heavy Showers presence. A Bulldog and a Spectre. These are not the guns you want to see in a situation like this. When you're playing against so much.
This feels unwinnable, Dan.
It does. It really does. And there we go. 100 Thieves hold on to it nicely. And they played off that initial pick on Scott. And I do wonder to what extent they expected that.
Yes. That was a really good jiggle peek coming into Showers and then a swing by Nitro. It's one of the few times when you shouldn't use abilities going into the, say, the third round where you feel like you have a gun advantage. But they risked it that there wouldn't be an operator there. There actually was. They probably should have gotten burned. And I think Scott might fight for an orb here. This is another battle at Showers is about to go down, and Scott needs this orb for his ult, I believe. Oh, he's 2 off. So he's actually going to need a kill.
And
Paranoia.
Paranoia is ready. He's going to be able to get the first kill. And there's the dash coming through. He can't find the second. Might be a gun for him to collect, though. An operator on the ground for him. AZK in support. Spider as well. The TP at back Showers is beautiful. What a coordinated effort here coming in from T1. And Skull lost the operator last round. He's picked it right back up again. And Asuna, 30 HP against 4 players. He needs to do some damage here. That is the objective. Keep the economy pressure going. Don't allow T1 to leave this round with too many weapons. And he's got a minute to try and do it. And he's in New Hall. I don't know if they understand where he is. They certainly understand some of the possibilities. So we'll see if he can move between the gaps of the knowledge of his opponents here as he makes his way through U-Haul. This is the opportunity. Find one frag at the very least, and he gets it. Asuna, you couldn't have asked for more.
No, Daze was all over him with that drone. It was a game of cat and mouse. And there's no way he was getting out of that U-Haul alive. So here we are, 8-8. That was such a sick shower hold, though, by T1. Sending Spider through the teleporter in his ult as Phoenix to flank. The second the Paranoia comes through, Scott dashes into them. Man, there's so many layers to these teams in this game. Just the amount of growth that these two teams have had in the last month is just incredible. It's actually incredible.
The buy here not looking all that great, though, for 100 Thieves. They got a heavy presence towards short B. The drone will be sent through as well. Spider looking to try to hold on to this position. I don't know how committed he's going to be. There's the trip. There's the cage going up. Curveball trying to hold it. But Asuna with that rocket. The showstopper is going to do the damage. AZK finding a great timing through the TP from short A. Drops the spike. Scar's there as well. But Dicey is in position in hookah. Scar had to worry about 2 positions. Gambled wrong. And the spike is collected once again. Now Brax. It falls to him. It falls entirely to Brax. Finds 1 kill. The dash comes through. It's just too much to handle. And 100 Thieves pick it up. And this game, Sean, it's so close.
Oh, you could see the idea from T1 right there. Spider was going to defend hookah and the teleport was going to come in. But once the showstopper was popped, he couldn't hold hookah anymore. But he was sticking to the setup. And then AZK and Scott come through the teleporter. But everything had already crumpled because the showstopper was popped. Such an unfortunate turn of events right there by T1. But man, Asuna continues to have so much success with these showstoppers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great ultimate. And Sky, he's going to actually find his first opening pick at the beginning of a round with the operator. So that's very good news for T1, who are trading around right now, of course. And if you are just joining us, 100 Thieves won the first map in this series. This is the second map. This is the quarterfinals here. Single a limb. So a lot on the line here for T1 in this recovery attempt as they make their way up short A.
You mentioned earlier that paranoia from U-Haul here. It's going to come, but it's late.
And Asana's got position there. The Hunter's Fury is trying to equalize things positionally. Asana, he's going to make his way around with the satchels. He finds Nitro over the top, or sorry, AZK, as Steel makes his way through showers as well. Spikes down on the ground. And I was going to say, Steel needs to hit some pretty good shots here to make this round work out for them. They've claimed the bomb and the spike, and they're going to make their way through the TP straight to B. Spider already was on the flank through Market, so he can't really stop this. They will get time to plant the spike. They will get time to set up post-plant.
Oh no, Dan Hiko has the Hunter's Fury at long. He's moving to elbow though. Will they expect 2 players to be elbow? They might, just because of where Spider is right now. This is the fight though.
A 1-for-1. Hiko is still alive. He's the important one. He's got the recon dart. He's got that Hunter's Fury as well. He needs to find a way to get a 1 versus 1 in this situation. Recon dart goes out, tries to get that info. That cloud burst is pretty huge. He spots Spider, that's important as well. Trying to get his way into a position to do some damage, but Spider will take him down. Hiko did what he could. He couldn't sit back there. He had to try to challenge. And it's going to be the round there for T1. Great effort from 100 Thieves to try to recover that. They made that look really doable.
Yeah, I agree. Hiko shooting out that recon dart. I think every viewer saw it in their mind's eye. They saw the ping coming in and Hiko creeping up on the diffuser, getting that kill, whipping over. That could have gone his way. That was so close. That was on a knife's edge, that 1-on-2. Holy, this game is just, it's phenomenal. Every round just coming down like this.
So 9-9 now. We'll see exactly how this opening plays out. Not as much pressure on this hookah position, just one player, just the Rays, just Asana there with that boombot, trying to just keep the attention of the opponents, trying to force them to burn some utility. We see that setup with Spider, as you mentioned previously, got stopped out by the Showstopper. But this time, it's going to be all about just playing retake on A. They're relying on having AZK in that U-Haul position with that Omen. And they've got Scar playing Cubby with the Operator. Very deep position with that Operator.
Yeah, and the pace of this round's a little different. 100 Thieves looked flustered at the start of this round in freeze time. They were really late getting in showers, and they were behind a dark cover. But this frag is actually... Oh, Spider giving up the early first blood to Asana. That's an early 5-on-4, and this B site is now extremely weak. But Skadoodle evening things up. That's a very big find by him.
And that
no
tells
more
him
trips on
everything.
the flank. Yeah.
Because also, if you take Steel down in that position, it's definitely got to be a committed play to be at that point. They've got to be reading that. TP onto the site. TP is all over the place at this point, and it's going to be an all-out brawl here as the spike gets planted. Dicey planting default there. And what do we have here for this retake for T1? Scar does have some daggers to work with if he chooses to use them, but other than that, not too much in the way of ultimates. AZK has paranoia still. That could be huge as a way to initiate the retake here. There's the Hunter's Fury timed to perfection. Hiko gets at least one. Sky in deep, pulls out the daggers, finds Nitro up on top of the site now, trying to find his way above the smokes to try to get these picks. It's looking quite labored at this point for T1, leaving just AZK trying to swing on the next player on Garden, but Hiko able to defend, able to trade. And once again, it just goes down to the wire. 100 Thieves barely creeping ahead of T1 at this point. 10-9. As you said before, Sean, Hiko on that Hunter's Fury is very reliable.
He's always good for one, right? He's always good for one when he busts out that ultimate. He's probably the best I've seen so far in this first strike tournament. But I believe 100 Thieves just wasted all of their ults. What do they have this round? They just... Actually, Dicey still has the daggers. That's very important going in this round. Steal with the shower control again. It's so sketchy for both teams.
Oh, that's huge. The paranoia comes through. This time works out really nicely for Scar as he pushes on through with that frenzy. Nice response though from 100 Thieves as they've seen this play before. The showers crunch from the defense with that B long TP push as well. And Dazed, he wanted to make a forward position with a forward alpha angle, but they will spot it out. Nothing left to guesswork after popping Cypher's ultimate. Neural theft will tell them everything. And now Brax is alone with a frenzy against 3 players. And there's not much you can do about that one. 11-9 now, 100 Thieves. They've nearly done it, Sean. They're looking to move into the semi-finals here. T1 need to come out with something big to recover this situation. It's starting to get truly out of hand.
It really is, but Dicey, man, he played that so well with those cloud bursts. The recon to force AZK in the open. I thought Daze was going to win this round, but the Cypher ult comes in and seals the deal. It forces his hand into the push. Man, the peaks from 100 Thieves to close out that round. That's something of beauty.
Careful now.
Oh, the buy here is pretty bad for T1. They stacked 4 towards the A side. So, oh, beautiful opening there from Asuna. Making it look really good with the satchels and showstopper entry. Nothing really that 100 Thieves could do. They kind of gambled on the A setup there. Looking for the retake. Actually, with that headshot, with the rifle, if it's possible to collect it, and all that information, maybe there's a chance here for T1, but with that said, Brax has no teammates left with which to play off of. So at this point, it's about trying to do some additional damage. They will be buying next round regardless. It's a good effort, but this could be it, Sean.
This could be it, Dan.
Match point.
This is going to be a very difficult comeback right now for T1 because 100 Thieves has now built an economy. They've built their ults up. Hiko, I just saw, got his Hunter's Fury again. It feels like he just had it. It's going to be a difficult 3 rounds for T1. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail for this. And you can see it's going to start at Showers right now. I think Scott should be able to afford an operator here if he wanted to. Yes, he does. Okay. But this is just a straight B hit. I don't know. Is T1 going to be ready for this?
Now, yeah, Spider's going to fall back out. He's actually got Run It Back available. So far, Spider's been playing really well with this Phoenix. And as you mentioned before, this setup between him and the Cypher Tripwire and Cage as well on Hookah has been something that T1 have really enjoyed running.
No more charges left.
Out of my way.
I fear Spider will die before the Run It Back can be used, as he's in a position, a very forward position right now, but in comes the Paranoia. Great counter utility. Dazed and Brax defending. Dicey shot out the air. And it doesn't look like they're trying to brute force their way in, but the counter utility here so far from T1 has been nothing but immaculate.
They have been stalled out completely. I don't know what 100 Thieves go to here. They need a pick. They're desperately looking for someone to give themselves up. It's going to be Spider. Spider versus Nitro right here.
Silence.
Oh,
Saw the swing of the gun. That's so unfortunate for Spider. And there might be a chance now, as you said, they were looking for that one pick. Dark cover just in the nick of time to allow Asuna forward positioning. Takes down Dazed. This could be going very badly all of a sudden here for T1. They were looking so damn good. And there's that Hunter's Fury on Hiko as well. He's standing in the hookah position. There's the Paranoia to allow the entries to start flowing through for T1. Brax opens it up nicely. Nitro, though, defending from the cubby by Garden. And now it's up to the Hunter's Fury. Does he decide to use it? He can't really. There's too many players at this point. There's too much time on the bomb. And so Hiko will just try to get that opening kill first. Maybe there's a chance here, but nope. Can't find an angle onto Brax. I spoke a little bit too soon. And T1 will hold on. It looks very scary, though.
I know there's a lot of backseaters in chat that are probably very upset that Hiko didn't pop that ult right there. But he does not win that round if he pops the ult. He knows. And he knows the importance of the Hunter's Fury in closing out a round on attack. I think it's the smart play to carry that into the next round. And you could see he actually took a step back to think about it for a second when he was in hookah. And he thought otherwise. So I'm fully with him not using the ultimate right there. And here's Skawa going for that op pick Showers again. First gun round of the match.
Oh, and he played out the same way, but Nitro's peak wasn't as good. This is perfect for T1 right now. They need this round. Still managing to pick Skadoodle out of the air like a clay pigeon and still steal, makes his way forward. Asna over the top of the APC, looking for the flank there with those satchels. Beautifully done. 2 versus 3 now. Brax and Spider on the B rotation. It's up to them now as the spike still needs to be planted. Run it back there as U-Hawk is cleared. Brax needs to win this frag, but that cage is going to deny him completely. Spraying, trying to find that desperation bullet, but it will be the TP rotation from 100 Thieves here for that B round finish. Spider, he's got a good timing. He might be able to get in there, but just barely denied. He will heal up instead. Waiting for Brax to get into position, but they don't have much help here. Oh, Brax, great read there on that
Brax has a cam. Brax has a cam. It's at long. I believe he just spotted both of them. What a huge fight by Austin, and Hiko closes out the match through the Phoenix wall.
100 Thieves taking it over T1. What a fight it was. They fought so damn hard, so many clutches. You could see the preparation from both teams. They both played so damn well. It's heartbreaking to see one of these two teams exiting the tournament, but I mean, we have to give it to both of them. They played it so well. But 100 Thieves, Sean, there is some magic behind this squad. There's something about them. And one of the questions we had to answer in this series was, what, is it the situation in a very intense game such as this that the youngsters are able to deliver under so much pressure? And so far, they're passing the test, and that's so important.
Yeah, especially Asuna. I mean, even on that last round, he had his fingerprints all over that match. He had so many impact first bloods, but just the confidence to satchel over the APC in the site, flank U-Haul and get that frag, open up the round, then go through the teleporter, obviously. He just had so much impact. The calls coming out of Steel, the flanks from Nitro. Hiko on the Sova looked great today. Dicey finally coming in on that last map with the operator. I agree. This 100 Thieves team is just out to play. I'm so impressed because they're such a young, new team. And just watching how they've improved so quickly is just shocking to me. It's shocking. And for those at home, T1 banned Icebox. I would be willing to bet Steel had something up his sleeve on that map too.
Yeah, I'm sure that he did. But it's time to hear from the analysts. Guys, that was a phenomenal series. What did you make of it?
I could not agree with you more there, DDK. Back-to-back, 2 of the closest maps we've had. These were quite clearly the most evenly matched teams in the quarterfinals. And although, gentlemen, we wanted that third map. We wanted it desperately. I tell you what,
So bad.
100 Thieves, they didn't want it, and they didn't want it more than us because they were able to wrap it up there, Van Silly, with a close once again on Bind.
At the same time, though, you still have to give it for T1. They fought so hard into this series, and I have to give it. On the first map, we talked about Ska, we talked about Brax, but the second map, I'm going to have to give this one to Spider on how hard they wanted to fight to try to win this matchup. It was the elephant in the room. How is he going to perform going over to a duelist? We had an idea maybe it was going to be a Raze that he's going to play, but coming in as a Phoenix, I mean, on that first half, 17-7 that he finished there for T1. He got 4 first bloods in total, but I'm pretty sure at least 3 of them were in this first half when they were playing that defender side. 2 4 kills, and then 2 3 kills, and he was just unstoppable. Like Sean was saying, he's flanking from behind through the teleporters, he's getting all these entries, he's putting a lot of pressure on Showers that forces T1 to waste a lot of utilities and manpower on A side, giving more room here for T1 to execute on the attacker side. But in the end, it's still gonna be 100 Thieves that takes the upper hand because they found ways to counter it.
I mean, Veli, this is where I turn to you because exactly as Van Silly is saying, it felt like the individual playmaking from Spider may have been enough to put T1 in winning position, and yet the whole of 100 Thieves found ways back in round after round.
You know, it's a bad thing when one player is one of the main reasons why a team is going to win. And 100 Thieves, and most importantly, still the IGL, I'm looking at him. He said, no, we're going to cut that out. We knew where Spider was playing every single time on defense. He was going to be in hookah on the right-hand side, either behind the box or outside the window. So what did they do? 100 Thieves said, okay, Asuna, we're going to send a Paranoia in. I want you to airwalk with the blast packs and just pop him with your rocket launcher. They was able to get that kill. They were able to just bait out Spider so many times. There was a play in particular where they had a cyber cage out. They knew the timing of his curveball whenever Spider was about to flash him. The moment they heard the audio cue, they popped out with another showstopper and got the kill. So that was on Spider. Skadoodle, we all saw what he did last map, right? They gave him so much space whenever it came to B long. They had Sova sitting all the way back in CT tunnel. They had Cypher in the base away from any type of op 1v1s. And they didn't allow anyone on T1 to catch fire if it was in their control. I love their game.
I could not agree more with that point, and I want to hand it to you, to Vansili, to kind of run it home, because it didn't feel like it was Skadoodle's fault that he wasn't getting off the ground this time on Bind. It was entirely this plan that 100 Thieves have built.
Exactly. How do you nullify basically Skadoodle moving forward with the with the operator trying to take control towards that long B? And when you look at the setup for Steel and company of 100 Thieves, they actually had 4-man stacks on the A side very often, and Steel was soloing inside hookah with a camera, trap wires, cyber cages, and he heard the amount of times that they tried to take control on the B side. He put the cyber cages up. He wasted some time. He would let for his teammates to rotate back from A to B side to play retakes or for holds. So I think 100 Thieves for Steel, he did a great job studying on how T1 was going to try to activate Spider on that A side. Put all the resources there, play a retake, and it paid off.
Well, we're going to come back to the analyst zone here in just a moment to talk a little bit more about this series and look forward to tomorrow. But before we do that, we do have an interview standing by. It's Smix with none other than Hiko following that victory.
You are correct, Dash. I'm honored to be sitting here with Hiko after such a fun victory over T1. So congratulations, Spencer. I feel like that was by far and away the closest quarterfinal match that we had. The score was 2-0, but it was neck and neck from beginning to end. Tell us, how much greater is the satisfaction to emerge victorious when the series plays out as close as it did?
It feels really good. I think we definitely expected us to win, but they pushed us to the limit, and we showed great perseverance to come back for the first map for sure. But it definitely feels good. I mean, we came here to win, and fortunate for us, we did win. So.
And speaking of that first map, let's dive a little bit deeper into it, because on that first half, we saw Skadoodle go full Skadaddy mode, and it was looking a little bit rough. But then we saw you guys remain calm, cool, and collected and come back from a 9-3 deficit. So break it down for us.
Yeah, I would be lying if I told you I was fully confident after that first half. I think we had just a slow start. I think we weren't as confident as we should have been in a lot of the plays that we made and the things we prepared for T1. But we were able to fall back on our defense half, and I think they won a lot of rounds that we probably shouldn't have lost on first half, and then we won a lot of rounds that we probably shouldn't have won on our defense. So both defenses are really strong, and I think it just it took us a little bit of time to actually just warm up and get back into it. And once we hit that second half, we were finding our stride. We were winning clutches. Suno was just making these crazy Phoenix plays, so it was good.
Suno is popping off, and Steel as well, coming in with a new agent. I think a lot of us got used to seeing him on that Killjoy, but bringing out that Cypher, and not just bringing it out, but looking really damn good doing so as well. So talk to us a little bit about the decision-making on making that switch.
Yeah, so the Sentinel nerfs definitely caught us kind of off guard, going from the close to this qualifier. We were trying to play around with Killjoy and with Cypher to see what's better on each map. And you'll have to see what we play on other maps. But yeah, I think Steel on Cypher brings a level of, he is our in-game leader, and he has a lot of playmaking abilities as Cypher, but also the fact that he sits in the camera a lot and he's able to direct the round from a camera. He doesn't really have to do much. He's kind of AFK, just looking around. So it frees him up to, maybe use a side of the brain that he would otherwise have to be more mindful of when he's playing Killjoy, right? Because you're just playing, you're basically kind of staring at your radar as Killjoy, and you kind of just sit AFK looking at your screen as Cypher. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I think the Sentinel nerf, Killjoy is just naturally weaker on most maps. It's really hard to watch flanks. So I think we messed around with Cypher, and I think he showed that he can play Cypher to the same level he can play Killjoy as.
It was so cool watching how he utilized his cages. And speaking of in-game leader, I was kind of curious. You mentioned it yourself in the feature video you had. The three of you all in-game leaders once upon a time in your histories. Does that ever result in a too many chefs in the kitchen scenario, or do you guys have a good system worked out?
I don't think so. I definitely, it was a fear of mine when we filled the roster initially with me, Steel, and Nitro that, maybe our personalities don't work very well together and maybe we're not able to, bounce ideas off each other as much as we could. But it's kind of like Nitro and Steel create a lot of the strats together between the two of them. I think my uh, in-game leader experience, I think I help a lot mid-round. I think, a lot of times I'm kind of sitting in a corner waiting for flanks in the post plants anyway, so I'm able to, help with mid-round stuff, keeping track of ultimates, keeping track of, how the round breaks down, how we can win the rounds. And I think we all just work really well together. But between the three of us, with the two kids that we have, everyone listens, everyone's on the same page most of the time, and I think everyone is pretty happy with that. We haven't once run into a problem with too many chefs in the kitchen.
I love that you talk about Dicey and Asuna being the two kids, because that is actually it. It's the perfect juxtaposition of the three of you being the veterans of the scene with so many years of playing under your belt, and then these two youngins who could be nervous when they play, but I do feel like the experience you guys bring goes a long way. So talk to us about what that dynamic is like and how that's been working out for you guys.
Yeah, I think me, Nitro, and Steel definitely have more of a slow, methodical approach to the game. And a lot of our strats and a lot of the things we do kind of revolve around that. And we put the two kids, so to say, in as many positions as we can for them to succeed. And, we saw today, when Asuna starts warming up and he starts pushing a lot, you're not going to kill him. He has no fear. Whether he's hitting his shots or losing his shots, he's going to run out there and he's going to kill you. So couple that with Dicey, who, he's a really solid upper, and he does a really good job of kind of taking control of the round and making sure that he isn't too crazy with the op like we see some other uppers. So the two kids, I think we help as much as we can, and between Steel, Nitro, and I, we've in-game led and played with so many different players, up and coming, veterans, that I think definitely, I mean, I have to give the most credit to Steel. I think he's definitely the one that tries to instill as much knowledge and try to understand and try to teach them kind of what works, what doesn't work, what could be a good play, what could be a bad play. So big shout out to Steel, and I think he's the unsung hero behind the scenes.
I think the rate of improvement that the five of you have shown, despite the fact that this is really only a roster that has only been around 2 months, has been amazing to see. Because up next, you are going to be going up against the Sentinels, and they're a little bit opposite. They've been together for a long, long time. And you were talking about how Asuna likes to be aggressive and he's not scared to do that. Well, they have a player who loves doing that as well with Sinatra. So curious, what are your thoughts about going up against them?
Yeah, we played them in the first close when we beat them. I don't think they were necessarily playing as to their full potential at that time. But now this match is definitely going to have everything on the line. And I think that we are well equipped to beat them. I think that on our best day, we should beat them. So yeah, they're a good roster. I think a big thing about a lot of these teams we're playing against, the TSMs, the Sentinels, is we're playing catch up. Like you said, we are a new roster, so we haven't had much time, not nearly as much time as all the other teams have done or have had to actually practice. So, we're trying to improve as best as we can. We're coming up with new ideas that we haven't seen teams do. You might see some of that this tournament. Who knows? But yeah, I think we are definitely equipped to do it. And we've done it once, and yeah, I think Asuna is gonna teach Sinatra who's the boss.
Well, thank you so much, Spencer. It's been an absolute joy seeing the progress you and your team have made, and best of luck in the semifinal match tomorrow. Dash, back to you.
Thank you so much, Smix. I want to go straight to one of the answers that Hiko gave early in the interview, saying something to the effect of, I'd be lying if I said we were confident after the first half of that Haven map. Down 9-3, they could fall back on their defensive side, and they were able to pull it back. But again, Vansili, I think we need to highlight again how close it was and the mental resilience and fortitude that it takes to come back in a moment like that.
Definitely. First off, the mental fortitude from 3 players out of the 5. I'm thinking of Steel, I'm thinking of Nitro, and Hiko. All 3 of those players have been in tough situations and on the world stage playing CSGO in the past. This is nothing new to them. But where it got crazy, definitely agree with that. They'd be lying if they say they were nervous. Because, again, 2 of those rounds, look at the pistol round. Was it the pistol round or the second round where that guard cover went down towards Long C on Haven? They went for the full defuse. You have 3 players from T1 just spamming through the smoke, and they still stick to the defuse and get it. Hiko wins another 1 versus Brax when Brax was in the best position possible for a clutch on a 2 versus 1. Hiko sticks it, and then you have that final play in the end. And 100 Thieves, man, they took advantage of it. Small mistakes, costly, but when you take advantage of it and you stride with it, luck or not, you still got the victory.
Yeah, now, Veli, there was a lot of composure. There was a lot of teamwork that went into them bringing it back there on Haven, but there were also some individual plays, and specifically, I'm thinking of our Prime Gaming play of the day. This one comes from Asuna, late on the defensive side. Walk me through it, my bud.
Oh, my man, he popped a running back. 1, 2, 3. But I can't even count that high, Dash. In all seriousness, it's silly. You called out the 3 vets, but for me, it was the young guns that stepped up when they needed it most. How often do you look at a team that's surrounded by a bunch of guys who won a lot of things in the past, but it's the new ones, the 18-year-olds popping up, getting 4Ks, and really rallying that team back. Asuna has been phenomenal, and I can't wait to see more of him.
It's also just so cool to see Hiko in that interview building all of his teammates up, right? Giving that cred where cred is due to each and every individual and how they played into it, citing Steel and his ability to call from being AFK in the camera, a little tongue-in-cheek, yes, but very cool to see nonetheless. That does bring me to our bracket and our schedule for tomorrow, because while we are done with the quarterfinals, all 4 of them, we have 2 epic semifinals coming your way just tomorrow. It is, of course, Envy and TSM to kick us off, and then 100 Thieves versus Sentinels to follow. So, Veli, I'm coming right back to you on that Envy TSM matchup, which will be hitting our screens first. Give me your thoughts.
Envy and TSM, that's going to be the game for me, man. Seriously, though, this is a new TSM. They have so much more fire behind them, but I don't think Envy is going to give them an easy one. This is going to go down to the wire, and I can't wait to see who goes to the finals from that match.
Envy and TSM for me is the matchup to watch up now. Well, maybe the second one. I don't want to get into the finals and predict it there, but I think Envy and TSM is definitely going to be a great one. When we hope that we're going to finally see a 2-1 series somewhere, I think Envy and TSM is finally going to be that one.
Oh, they best both be 2-1s tomorrow. We took 2-0s for 2 days in a row. If these teams don't deliver me some 2-1s, I'm going to be upset. But, Veli, I come back to you on the second best of 3 because you were just hyping up Asuna, and rightly so. Hiko said he thinks Asuna is going to show Sinatra who's best in that matchup. What do you think of that statement?
Hiko, he's got. I get it. He's got to back up his boy. I respect it. But Sinatra is Sinatra at the end of the day, and I think Sentinels might have that game, man. I'm rocking with Sentinels.
Sentinels is the call here, Vansili. What about you, buddy?
Listen, we're talking about rising stars here in the theme, that new fire here in this First Strike North America. And we talked about Sinatra. We had a highlight for him coming from a different game. He's a rising star in this one, but Asuna is a rising star in himself. He might be that new Sinatra in this first game that he plays competitively, which is going to be Valorant right here. So that's going to be beautiful to watch too. I mean, look at his movement on the last 2 maps that he's played. The satchel charges coming through from that player. Oh. Man, he's got so much potential and talent.
Oh my goodness. Reminding me of the Asuna satchel plays. Oh, just chasing Spider out from that hookah play. Double satchel while he's blinded. Oh, I never want to be in that position ever in my life. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 4 amazing quarterfinals behind us, 2 epic semifinals ahead of us that take place tomorrow. It's Envy versus TSM. It's Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. It's hitting your screens tomorrow, 1 p.m., same time Pacific that we've been hitting your screens on these previous 2 days. But that is going to do it for myself and everyone here in this building and remotely broadcasting around the world to you and your homes. Thank you for joining us. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.